Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of my video blog, Out My Window Live. This is a hometown edition. This is downtown Miami. You're actually looking at the port of Miami. I'm on the 26th floor of the Biscayne Bay Marriott, where I'm staying tonight for work. That bridge you see there leads you to South Beach, and those buildings you see in the distance, that is South Beach. That colorful building you see there, that's the Museum of Science, I believe, the one for kids. In a place called Watson Island. Now, I don't know how many people know this, but Watson Island right there was where it was rumored that Disney World was going to be built while they were really buying land in Orlando. Can you imagine trying to fit all of Disney World into that little island that you see right there at the end of the bridge? So let's see what we got. That right there, Port of Miami. Usually it's filled with cruise ships. It's already 7:30, I guess, so they're all gone. Go straight down there and you hit the ocean. That's what you see out there is the ocean. You can kind of make out past the cranes the Fisher Island, one of the most exclusive places to live in Miami. And if I turn around the corner here in my balcony, you see Venetian Isle, a marina down there, which you might recognize because I believe George Clooney in the movie Up in the Air with Anna Kendrick, the scene where the board gets thrown in the water, that was filmed down there. See, Jose says, come visit in the Grove. Hey, Jose, how are you? So right there is a condo right in front of me. And then here's downtown Miami. You can't see all of it. You can kind of see some of it. So right in front of me, those two sort of big buildings you see, that's the Arch Center. That's where they do the Broadway shows, the Philharmonic, the ballet performs. Hey, Franco, good to see you. And where you see that big giant bubble right there, that's the new Museum of Science and Discovery. I'm not sure if it's opened or it's about to open or should open soon. The one thing about Miami, you'll notice cranes everywhere. Every time I come here, there's something new. Now, I'm going to try to get you to look. Between that tall building right in front of you and the crane on the right is another big white building. That is where the Florida Marlins play. That is their stadium. And it's kind of hard to tell, but if you basically made a straight line between here and that building and stopped in the middle, that's kind of sort of where the proposed new David Beckham Stadium would be. I like that. Franco says, this needs to be sponsored at some point. I agree, man. I think that I get more comments about this blog than anything else. Now, check out, if you could go straight over that white building with a big bubble in it, you'll see sort of a cream orangey looking tower. Well, first of all, if you look behind the white building with the bubble, it's kind of hard to tell, but you can see the American Airlines Arena. That's where the Heat play. Now, between that and the white building with the bubble, there is a cream color building. That's called the Miami Freedom Tower. The reason it's called the Freedom Tower, ages ago, it was where the old Miami News was housed. Now, once they moved to another building, that building you're seeing, that orangey colored building, was empty. And when the Cuban, I guess the Cubans fleeing from Castro in the late 50s, early 60s, were coming to Miami, that sort of became the Ellis Island of the South. That's where they were processed before they were able to, I guess, become citizens or become residents. So that's why they called it the Freedom Tower. Now, in looking at this view, I can tell you one thing. Except for that building I just described, or maybe a couple next to it, almost not a single building you're looking at was here when I very first time I moved to the United States and to Miami. This building that you see wasn't there. This building I'm standing on wasn't there. Those two, the Art Center wasn't there. I guess that church right below me was there, right? And what you see right there, sort of a parking lot, that's the parking lot to what was at one point called the Omni, which was at the time one of the busiest malls in the United States. Now it's not a mall anymore. I guess they have an art institute there and a Hilton hotel. But this area has grown so much. Now, you can barely make out some graffiti from here. That's the Wynwood area, a little bit forward and to the right. Kind of hard to tell. But yeah, this is such a good view because you get so much out of here. The airport, if you made a straight line that way, 10 minutes away is the airport. So sometimes when they land this way, you see the planes flying overhead, kind of neat. What else we got? Back this way to the Port of Miami. You know, this is the deepest port in the world. That's why the largest ships in the world can sail from here. It is the deepest port in the world. It also has, recently they built a tunnel. Now Miami doesn't have a lot of tunnels because we're, you know, a water level, but they built a tunnel to get people from this bridge you see here down the highway and under that body of water into the port, in and out much faster. And yeah, what you see at the end there is South Beach. I think I've described this about as much as I can remember. If you're in Miami, you're looking for a cool hotel to stay. Not a cool hotel, a good location at a reasonable price with beautiful views. I really like the Biscayne Bay Marriott. It's always a decent price, the rooms are nice, and you can't beat the location because basically that highway you see right there, which continues right there, you're 5-10 minutes away from South Beach that way. You're 10 minutes from the airport that way. You're 5 minutes from the downtown. You can literally walk to the theaters. You can walk to the American Airlines Arena. You can walk to the museum. So I could not recommend it more. One more anecdote. This building right in front of us, which by the way, for those of you who like Spanish language music, El Puma used to live in this building somewhere, one of the apartments here. But they directly face this hotel, and this hotel directly faces them. And I can tell you from personal experience from staying there that sometimes you see some weird stuff over there. Just like I'm sure they see weird stuff over here. Anyhow, just interesting anecdote, right? They got their tennis courts down there, they got a bar, it's actually a nice building. So, one more thing. If you see right there, this right here, that's the Venetian Causeway. So there's two ways to get to South Beach. You can either take the big one, where all the cars go, or you can take the Venetian, which is a really nice drive down sort of like homes. And one of the homes down this way was when they did the MTV Real World in Miami. They filmed it going down this way, one of these houses that you kind of see in these islands. And so I thought I'd point that out. And that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you next time on Out My Window Live. Ciao guys. Hi Heather. Good to see ya. Bye.